Kids, welcome. Welcome to unit number 3 of our world history class. Now, kids, call me biased, but this is without the shadow of a doubt my favorite unit of the school year. What we will be focusing on for the next 2 weeks is Japan in the Middle Ages. Now, like many of you, when I think of Japan, I think about a couple things. Number one, I think about Japanese food. Mostly, I think about sushi. If you haven't tried sushi, kids, go right now, eat yourself some sushi. Now, number two thing that I think about, like many of you, I think about anime. My Hero Academia, Haikyuu, Dragon Ball Z, etc., etc., etc. For you fans of anime, you probably know that it comes from Japan. Now, number three, because I'm a history nerd, I also think about samurais. Come on, kids. The warrior class of Japan, what's not to love? Now, the one that I always think about, that also always makes me laugh and also slightly disgusted, is this. Yeah, this is giant men fighting in diapers. This is also known as sumo wrestling. Now, kids, in this unit, you got to get used to something here. You got to get used to learning new things that you probably never realized before. For example, did you know that sumo wrestling, although today is a sport, used to be a religious ceremony? And you're like, wait a second, Huntsinger, how is two fat guys wrestling in a ring a religious ceremony? Let me explain. Now, the original religion of Japan was a religion called Shinto. Now, sumo wrestling was part of the Shinto tradition. Now, let me read this quote to you. To start off any sumo wrestling match, both wrestlers throw salt in the air as they prepare for their match. Now, this is clearing the ring as a sacred place. If you've ever seen sumo before, you probably noticed that both wrestlers reach down, grab a handful of salt, and throw it up in the air. This is ceremonial. I'll go on. They also stamp the ring to squash the bad spirits, and they sip water to clear their bodies. That is probably the most famous thing that sumo wrestlers do. They take both of their legs and stamp them down to clear the ring of bad spirits. Each movement is a religious ritual. Now, kids, you got to get used to this in this unit. You are going to learn things that you have never known before. But first things first, today's activity is a good one. I present to you my first play of the school year. Now, my very special assistant and I are going to be performing a play for all of you. This play is called Prince Shotoku Rules Japan. Now, we need to be transported all the way back to the year 600 AD on the island of Japan. Now, about 600 AD, a man named Prince Shotoku, played by me, takes control of all of Japan. In order to create structure in Japan, much like his neighbor China, Prince Shotoku creates a constitution or a formal plan of government. So, first things first, let's have the narrator set the stage. Fighting consumes Japan. Clans, or small groups of people, are battling with one another for valuable land. Since Japan is a mountainous island, flat and fertile land that is good for growing crops is very rare. Therefore, clans must fight to survive. About 500 AD, a clan called the Yamato took control of most of Japan. The ruler of the Yamato, a man named Jinmu, claimed to be the great-grandson of a sun goddess. Therefore, Jinmu rose to become the first emperor of Japan. By the 600s, a Yamato prince named Shotoku ruled Japan on behalf of his aunt, Empress Suiku. Here, we find Prince Shitoku sitting with Empress Suiku discussing his future plans for Japan. Dearest Aunt, I am so excited to be Japan's ruler. But to be perfectly honest, I'm really sick and tired of all the fighting that goes on.
Tell me about it. Can we all just get along? We seriously have some major work to do if we want peace for our beloved Japan.
Now, it's funny you mention that. Now, let me ask you a question. What is the most powerful and successful country that you know of?
It's China. I mean, it seems like they do everything right.
Where'd you go?
They are rich, smart, and peaceful. Not to mention, they give us Buddhism and Confucianism. And Buddhism and Confucianism are totally awesome.
Exactly! That's just what I was thinking. So why not copy China? They have done so many great and successful things, it's only natural that we should look to them for inspiration. Before the introduction of Buddhism and Confucianism, the original religion of Japan was a belief system called Shinto. People believed that humans, animals, plants, rocks, and rivers all have their own spirits. These spirits, known as kami, could be called upon for help in life. With the introduction of Buddhism from China and Korea, the people of Japan accepted Buddha as another kami, and therefore Buddhism was quickly accepted, most importantly by the royal family. The beliefs of Shinto, Buddhism, and Confucianism all had a significant impact on the Japanese people. Now, check this out, Auntie. My God, where am I? Using our beliefs of Shinto, Buddhism, and Confucianism, I've created this wonderful new document that is clearly invisible. It's called a constitution.
Say what?
A constitution. It's a plan for government. The first thing I wrote is when you receive the imperial commands, fail not to obey them. In other words, the people of Japan must do what I say.
Oh, Shitoku, you're so clever. You're going to be a very powerful man.
Well, Auntie, to be honest, I just want peace and structure for our beloved Japan. Now listen here. Back to my invisible constitution. I wrote that we should punish what is evil and encourage what is good. And that harmony, which is a fancy word for peace, is to be valued, and the avoidance of evil is to be honored. If that doesn't get people to realize that all this fighting is no good, I don't know what.
Ooh, that is good. But what about all the different classes? How can we make sure that everyone, both rich and poor, powerful and weak, does what they are told?
I thought of that too. Now, back to the invisible constitution. Listen to this. I wrote the perfect metaphor that will allow everyone to understand. All right, so first I wrote that rulers are like heaven and subjects are like the earth.
I think I get it.
Auntie, where are you? Oh, there you are.
So rulers are above the subjects.
Exactly. It says it clearly right here. Then I wrote, if the earth attempts to take over heaven, everything will be ruined.
It makes perfect sense. If rulers
go? You're a floating head.
By 646, the Yamato continued to change in order to strengthen Japan. Once again, using a mixture of the beliefs of Shinto, Buddhism, and Confucianism, the Yamato created a set of rules called the Taika Reforms. The Taika Reforms divided Japan into districts, which were ruled by officials who reported directly to the emperor. All farmland was now under the emperor's control, and the government could now collect taxes. The Taika Reforms helped to create Japan's first strong central government. Now, kiddos, I'm telling you, if I'm not careful, I'm going to Hollywood one of these days. So, kiddos, without further ado, as soon as you're done here, I will see you, hopefully, in the flesh in the next few days. Bye, love.